Well, there's also like in schools, all these kids are being challenged with new narratives. It's not how we grew up where you learn U.S. history. It's really tricky now for them to teach because what happens is, as a teacher, I just got into this yesterday. As a teacher, you're teaching elementary school. If you're going to teach U.S. history, the question becomes, if you start teaching from 1776 and not 1619, you will have you'll have parents who go, wait, they can be white or whatever. They have their liberal point of view, and it becomes a debate. And it's really tricky for the teacher to have to deal with. So now the teacher teaches, if you teach about being a global citizen and being racism, if you bring up the term anti-racist, it's supercharged versus not racist.
And they're doing that in elementary school?
Bro, I just was, I'm dealing with that in my elementary school. So it becomes a whole fucking thing, and it's a balancing act.
So what's Finn in fifth grade?
Yeah. So young people now, he's in fourth. Oh. Young people now are being educated. It's just different, and social media is setting a different standard. They're just, public shaming is a real thing, and it's keeping people. People are becoming, far away stare. But it's a very powerful thing because with young people now, there's call out culture. And call in culture, which is the idea of I'll call you out in front of everybody, or I might call you in first for a private. This is happening in schools. So now some student says, you didn't recognize my identity or whatever it might be, and you're being called in. So now that kid calls you in with the teacher. And you've been called in. Now the next step is to be called out in front of everybody.
Oh man!
So what happens is with the
fight,
it's a lot to deal with.
I'm like, you call me in, we're gonna fight.
Correct.
That's what we're gonna do.
Now if you do that,
now you can't. You're out of school.
You're out of school, but also it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with, man. Because like, how do you navigate that? So what happens is
on the parents.
Kids are becoming. There's a puritanical. There is a new Puritanism in a way because everybody is afraid. When I got into it a little bit yesterday with this teacher,
What'd
the way
you say?
she was teaching.
White teacher?
Yes, and she was teaching. She had a book on anti-racism. Anti-racism versus not being racist is a very strong.
For fourth grade.
Yes, it's a very strong political point of view.
It's insane.
And what was interesting was I was the only one to voice it, and I could tell some parents were
buttholes got tight
into it. Other parents got super tight.
Oh, it'd be so fun.
And nobody wants to say that.
To be if they did that when me and my friends were in fourth grade,
it'd be
it'd be so funny.
Yeah. Of course.
I mean, I remember we had teachers like telling us about gay people, and we were delighted. It was the best. It was so fun to say gay.
Yeah.
We'd be like, "What is gay?"
We had a field day.
I mean, if we had a racism class,
oh, dude.
Well, that's kind
of wait. Can I say? What are some words I'm not allowed to say?
That's kind of what's happening.
I have a word I want to know if it's racist.
That's what's happening now.
You go.
With gender. Now you're talking about now you're describing somebody as being a straight white cisgender male.
They have to explain it that way.
But the
this
teachers
is in fourth grade,
bro.
I might have to get those kids.
I don't want to get into this too much.
Oh my God!
Let them stay.
I'm in it. And
let them cook in that shit.
Yeah, I'm in
Finn
it.
comes home with fucking lime green hair and just fucking.
Well, there are two things that can happen. One is it's hard on the teacher. It's hard on the teacher because they're being pushed. They're being pulled on one, and everybody's having an argument. So now, how do we teach? Right? How do we teach? What is the standard? What's the truth? I'm all for teaching true American history. Okay, not whitewashed, but these are kids. I don't know how to do it. But what also happens is exactly what you're saying, dude. Like my friend's kid. He goes, it's a nice butterfly, and he goes, hey, look at him sitting there on that pedal, and his son goes, Dad, joking around, goes, how dare you gender that butterfly?
This kid's in fourth grade?
Yeah, but they're all fucking around. Now they're making fun of it.
Oh, yeah.
If you start making it hush hush.
Oh, kids are going to run with
bro.
Kids
and also the kids aren't dumb. Like my niece, like I was talking to her about it, and she's in like 7th or 8th grade, and she's like, yeah, there's like 10 bisexual kids.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you're in 7th grade.
And 5 kids who identify as trans. This becomes a social
they see who's if you were a kid, you'd see like, I'm not saying they're weird for doing that, but like, if a kid was like, I'm actually trans, yeah, you just don't have friends. You're doing
you're just
move.
lost.
This is a move.
You're lost. Back in my day, you're called goth.
By the way,
it was goth.
Yeah, that's very true.
Exactly.
Very true.
You'd be called goth.
Marilyn Manson.
But it's whatever you want to do now. Yeah.
But that's all right. Let them,
It's
Fuck
fine.
it.
Kids
Yeah,
are going to
They're gonna figure it
They're going
out.
to navigate their individuality in one way or another. It's just a lot, man. It's a lot. There is something about. There is a lot of talk in a lot of schools about capitalism being essentially inherently racist.
That's insane.
And you hear this all the time. That is the narrative on
Yeah.
that side of the equation. So you got to know when people like cloak something that they're teaching in, we're just trying to all get along, and you go, that's not what's going on.
Yeah.
You're teaching a strong political agenda here.
Yeah, you have a bias here.
You got a bias.
Yeah.
You got to.
And you can't have that.
And you're
They
trying
say,
to
they
change.
say capitalism is racist.
That's a very common thing now in the anti-racist far left movement, whatever it might be, that capitalism and the structures of even the Western institutions, all of them are inherently biased towards one. It's essentially a white supremacy construct. Therefore, it favors only whites. And so there may be a debate, there may be a conversation to be had there.
Hell yeah.
But
I love it.
yeah,